Park. There have been two opportunities we've been talking to them about. One is to have their site posted on a countywide website where there's a lot of information about the site that's available. It's the property owner needs to consent, but it's an additional way to market their site. And all of the ones that we've reached out, all the ones that have responded to our letter, our postcard, and the meeting that we've held have said that they want to be part of that. It's at no cost to them.
Is this both vacant and unbuilt parcels and developed parcels that might be vacant?
This is just vacant
Parcels,
parcels,
okay.
but it is vacant industrial and commercial sites.
Is ours listed on there? Our
Yes, it
6 acre
is,
parcel?
absolutely, with a big star and a halo on it.
Right.
And the second piece that we've talked to our property owners about is site certification. Canby has been very forward-thinking and proactive in the past. The state had unveiled the site certification program, and we were the second community to participate. And many of our industrial sites that were already served with infrastructure participated. There's a lifespan for that. It's about 3 years or so. So we recertified the remaining sites that hadn't been developed to that point, that did have the infrastructure in place in 2009. So now it's time to recertify again. And we've been combining these two objectives in these meetings with property owners. And so far, it seems that most of them, all but a handful, are interested in certification as well. So what is new with the program this time that wasn't available last time is called a decision-ready site. And it's basically doing the due diligence on the property, and it identifies what the gaps are. And so, for instance, a site might need a brownfields assessment, or a wetland, not in our case, but a wetlands delineation or a historical archaeological review, that kind of thing. And so for decision ready, it identifies those missing pieces. And it says, but for these things, it is ready for development. So then it leaves it to the property owner to decide if they want to proceed to site certification, which actually takes a step of doing those studies and providing absolute certainty about all the questions that might remain on the site. And there is some cost potentially to the property owner on that, although as we group them together, there might be ways to reduce costs to each property owner. And so that's been pretty popular. A number of the sites that have gone through certification in the past, of course, want to go all the way to certification. Other properties that are new to the program want to dip their toe in the water with the decision ready and see where they stand and see what the costs are, and or if truly anything addition is needed. So we're very encouraged with the response we've been getting. This is a great partnership between the city, the county, and the state. Our next meeting with property owners will be on July 31st at the police station at 7 o'clock. Invitations have already gone out. And we'll be talking with our property owners about, you're interested, here's what the next step entails, here's what you need to do, here's what the county will do, here's what the city will do, here's a timeline, here's a game plan, here's a end of project date, really fleshing out the details. So that's an exciting project and time-consuming one. Next, the community response team. It meets quarterly. We are scheduling the next meeting for July 31st as well, and given site certification is something that we're moving forward on, and a number of the participants in the community response team are utility providers, and we need to be getting letters from them that spell out exactly what their capacity is. It's a great opportunity to bring them up to speed on the program and inform them about what their role in the process might be. So that'll be the major topic of conversation. Of course, we always talk about what's happening in terms of business recruitment, business retention, leads we've been getting, etc. So that meeting will be scheduled on the 31st as well. In terms of the newsletter, I had hoped to give you the sneak preview today, but unfortunately the county commissioners need to bless the article about the GIS mapping, and they didn't want anyone else to publicly see it before they had seen it. So I will be getting you a copy very soon to review, and then we'll be officially mailing it out to developers, to property owners, to real estate brokers and developers, and anyone else that we think might benefit from this information mid-next week. In terms of GIS mapping, I couldn't be more pleased with our intern that we're working with from Clackamas Community College. She's already created a draft Canby attractions map, an overall Canby map that's up to date, and she helped the planning department do some research on first and second story sites throughout the downtown core, and we have a number of other projects in line for her. The ultimate goal of the project is to develop a development atlas, a series of maps that's either that is a book that people can have or something online, so that if they're interested in a site, they can look in one place on all the different layers that might pertain to development. And on 3D design, I have let you know over past meetings that we did receive the $5,000 grant for Canby Rental. We met with the business owners and the county on Monday and got a sneak peek at the design. It is beautiful. It's brick and lots of glass. The property owners couldn't be more pleased with it. So they are going to be developing an in-depth report, which should be finished in a couple weeks. So we'll let you have a chance to look at that as well.
Does that design, is it far enough along to know, is it going to be within what they expect to pay budget-wise to do something?
There will be some ballpark estimates, cost per square foot, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Unlike the previous applicant, it was only the shell design. There was not any internal layout for the function of the business. So the business owner would be taking that to the next level.
Okay, good.
So let's see, downtown business assistance, Jamie already alluded to working with the Small Business Development Center and about 6 businesses. So we're very excited to be able to bring additional tools to them. Then on the Canby Manufacturing Metals Machine Summit, as we talked about in our economic development plan, we had identified industry clusters. The largest and biggest engine for Canby was this cluster. And so we are bringing them all together, inviting them to come to a meeting next Wednesday morning. Mayor Hudson will do the welcome. Jerry Turner, who is a long-standing, well-respected metals machine owner in Canby, will be the master of ceremonies, the person leading the discussion. And it's designed to be a conversation among all these businesses to talk about what their key issues are, what their opportunities are, how they could potentially work together. And so far, the invitations went out about a week and a half ago. We already have 10 people committed to coming.
Good.
There are 20 businesses on the invite list, so we're very encouraged by that, and we're still expecting more folks to come. So that concludes my economic development report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now you're going to do an update for us on...
Great.
I asked Renata to, through Greg, to put together a kind of a summary form, summary presentation of what we've accomplished under the Urban Renewal District since inception, and so she put together a little slideshow for us, and hopefully it's very informative for you.
Great. So, again, to reinforce the goals of the Urban Renewal District, to diversify the economic base, create family wage jobs within the district, to maintain effective and efficient safe traffic system, to improve and retain existing businesses, to improve attractive visual amenities for customers and community members throughout the district. And so what I'd like to do is go through a number of the major accomplishments of the district so far. Canby Pioneer Industrial Park was the initial focus of the district, building out the infrastructure, and that investment has clearly paid off. 11 companies have come there since it was first launched, creating 750 jobs and $76 $76.5 million in private sector investment. And as a result of our investment, there have been a number of industrial sites that are served, ready to go, actively on the market today. And as the economy continues to grow, we will be getting a lot of attention, I think. With your approval, we're investing in the extension of Sequoia to 13th. It's under construction now. Once it's completed, it will add an additional 60 acres of zone served, ready to go industrial land. Those property owners are very interested in being in the site certification program. And that'll be completed this fall. And then many of you may have attended the grand opening for Dragonberry Produce a couple weeks ago. They invested $2.5 million in a LEED silver building, which is unusual for an industrial building, and they're brought 15 jobs to the community. And I'm sorry, it should be 15.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was more than
they
5.
opened in June, and already they're talking about the need to expand
Really?
in the future. So it's exciting.
Remind us how much more room they have there.
They bought a 4-acre parcel,
Okay.
and so they definitely have room to add an additional building, and they would be prepared to do so when they could do it financially as well as demand justifies it. So. And then First Avenue, here are some beautiful pictures taken today. It looks great with our black-eyed Susans in full flower. It is definitely a vast improvement over what it was before. You can see it very well from 99. It's a gateway that beckons visitors and customers in. It has stimulated new investment and attracts shoppers and visitors. It included a new street, new sewer and water lines, undergrounding all of the utilities, landscaping, lighting, parking, and street amenities, among others. And it also increased, with the lighting and more open feel, it improves safety and visibility. And Jamie talked a bit about facade improvements, and she'll be going into more detail, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. So to the upper left is American Legion. As of today, they're making rapid progress. They should be completed within a month. Very exciting. Advantage Mortgage is looking great with new brickwork and paint. Bricks and Minifix has been finished for a while. T-Line is in my favorite colors of green and gold. And you saw earlier the Jeans Electronics new awning, which looks wonderful. Mike's Place is funny. He came in just initially talking about paint, and then he said, well, maybe I can do something with the windows, and I really should replace that door, and maybe I need to clean that that awning some. So he's investing more and more, and very excited. So that's what we like to see. And then as First Avenue became more beautiful and more businesses are taking advantage of the facade improvement program, private businesses are stepping up on their own, and that's the example of Mattress World. They painted and spruced themselves up, but without participating in the facade improvement program, and it looks great. Police facility was a major project last year. It opened on August 2012, 36,000 square feet of state-of-the-art facility, very well used community room, almost 2,000 square feet. It provides badly needed space for holding cells, crime research, and evidence storage, among other things. It serves as an emergency operations center, and there's space for future expansion as the police department grows over time. And then other major successes, you just heard a lot of details about the Main Street program. There have been lots of road improvements throughout the district, and I'll provide details about that in a little bit. The construction of the cinema parking lot was a partnership with a neighboring property owner, the cinema, and the city. It's now being used as a Saturday market site and overflow parking for customers, etc. So it's well used. We've also recently, about a year ago, established a $750,000 revolving loan fund, and Second Avenue streetscape improvements, and Waite Park frontage improvements that were completed last year, among many other projects. This is a slide that talks about where in the plan various projects were identified back in 1999. It's in Table 5, and so I'll be going through those in order here. The first is streets and circulation projects. Many of these have been completed already. A lot of the downtown streets have been paved and with additional amenities added. There have been improvements to Highway 99 and behind McDonald's and on Elm. So throughout the community.
Renata, what's the Old Pacific? The one that Old Pacific to on the slide
Previous
just
slide.
back. Southwest First Avenue, Old Pacific to 99E.
It's kind of where Burgerville is in the high school, and it
Oh,
kind
the
of,
triangle piece out there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see, and then in terms of industrial streets, some of them have been funded by Urban Renewal, some of them have been funded in partnership with property owners, local improvement districts. Urban Renewal money has leveraged other investments through the state of Oregon, et cetera, but this is projects that have been completed or are still on the list to complete. Industrial utilities improvements, quite a bit has been done already. The sewer lift station at the bottom of Malina Road and 13th would be the major one that hasn't been completed in the industrial area. A number of water and electrical projects have been completed by CUB, as you can see. And then in terms of parks and pedestrian amenities, there's a list. Waite Park was completed last year. The Logging Road walking trail is a great amenity enjoyed by the community. We've identified gateways and corridors in the Highway 99E corridor study and figured out what we would invest in were funds available. So there's a map of where they would be located. And then public buildings, complexes, and parking facilities, originally identified in the plan. Public safety building, that's been completed. Town hall, community center, we'll need to discuss more. The telecommunity center project was in existence thanks to Rich's or former organization's support, but technology has passed that by, I think.
Yes, passed it way by.
City Hall complex, and then municipal and private parking facilities. We've done very well with the cinema parking lot in First Avenue now. Fire protection, emergency response. So far, we've spent about $500,000 with the fire department. Originally, the plan identified $2.75 million in terms of improvements. And then there's other projects. I've highlighted the ones that are directly related to economic development. Urban Renewal matching grant funds, such as the facade improvement project, which matches dollar for dollar up to $25,000 private sector investment, and it also provides free technical assistance and design ideas. And then there's about $6,000 available for feasibility study matching funds to help a developer or a property owner develop the feasibility for what they might be thinking about and moving that forward. We haven't had anyone take advantage of that program yet, but it's good to have. You've heard about the Main Street program. The gateway improvements have been identified. Some of our businesses are expressing interest now in the facade improvement program, and the railroad crossings might be part of that. And then systems development charge reimbursement. It's a unique incentive that can be offers that indicates to businesses that we truly want them, that we're invested. This is above and beyond any state or county programs, and it is a reimbursement for city-related system development charges based on wages and jobs created, and they need to perform for 2 years before they would get a check from us. So far, there have been 3 businesses that have expressed interest, 1 that successfully completed it, 2 that are in their 2nd year of proving that they've created jobs. So we'll be informing you about that next year, how they're doing on that. Let's see, other projects, the revolving loan program that you formed last year, we've budgeted for the life of the urban renewal program $750,000, $200,000 this fiscal year. The terms are for $10,000 to $250,000, up to 40% of the project. There have been a number of businesses that we've talked to about it, and the American Legion will be our first applicant. So just as a review of what our original study said in regarding public facilities, that was a topic of conversation earlier this evening. In January 2005, they identified city administration, police court, and library facilities. They assessed the needs, that they're all of them in need of dramatically more space, that there's efficiencies in co-locating city functions together, and that, it should be a frugal but functional approach to this solution. In November 1999 and 2009 amendments, here's the sections that talk about improving public facilities and rehabilitating properties, and it allows for acquisition, construction, and rehabilitation of public facilities within the area, including police, libraries, etc. So you've talked about that earlier. And then going on, it talks about the age of our facilities. All of them are 25 years old or older, with the exception of the police facility, which is obviously a year old. And that renovating, expanding reduces automobile usage, improves pedestrian safety, and better public facilities are prudent fiscal investments. And it also outlines parks and open space as inadequate for meeting current and future needs. And that is a quick overview for you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Accomplished a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And Rich, I think we'd be remiss not to thank one of the people that's in the room that helped create that, Councilor Walt Daniels, who was there at the beginning. So we're looking at a lot of neat things that we shouldn't be taking credit for, but the people that were there at the beginning had the foresight to do. So, Walt, thank you.
Thanks.
And I think Sue Ryan had additional urban renewal update.
I have yet another presentation. No. So I wanted to explain something. I answered the phone at City Hall, and I get a lot of varied questions. So today, one of the questions was, well, what is the packet? And then I realized, there's a lot of lingo we use automatically that the public doesn't know. So I wanted to mention this report on the Sequoia Parkway, which I'm not going to read because you guys have all gotten these updates from Kurt via Greg and the Facebook page and the website, are in the packet, and I chose to create this because this preserves it for the record for longer term than the other platforms, which I love. But people can find the packets online at our website and pictures of the project for Sequoia on the Facebook page. So just to direct people, well, wait a minute, I heard about this packet. Where can I find that information? I just wanted to make a brief mention. And just to let you know, Kurt said he does not have a specific date for when the bridge is going to arrive and be placed, but he will get it to me, and I will get it to you, because some people have said they would be interested in going and seeing it put in place.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
okay.
Well,
I know one person that does.
You all over there?
Sue, I once again have to commend you for your public outreach efforts. It's something Tracy and I have talked about on how it can be done, and all of a sudden you just showed up here and started doing these things again on your own. So it's very hard to stay ahead of you and know things that you don't, but it actually happened tonight. As liaison to the bike committee, I was in contact with the county to talk to them about having a celebration when the Canby Ferry went in.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
And this evening, I received a notice from Ellen Rogelin, who back in the day I hired as a PIO out at the Transportation County shop. And things are moving quickly. The ferry's going to be coming through the locks on Tuesday,
Oh,
and it will be going back in service on Friday. And Ellen says that the commissioners are so busy hiring a new county county administrator that they will not have time to do any sort of event. That's probably not enough time for us to do anything much fun either. But I did want to remind people that the Canby Ferry will be 100 years old next year. So I think that might be an opportunity for us to get some celebration, bicyclists, joggers, something together to promote the city. So I'll forward this on to you so it can run through
we had actually had a number of calls about 3 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
I called the county and said,
so
you
you
know,
can you can run it through official channels.
please,
Sue.
please let us know, because we get calls, we take them seriously, we try and answer people's questions, and if we don't have the answer, then we call other people like Renata or Jamie, or, I mean, some of it's just sort of directing traffic. I don't really answer anything. I just kind of go there, so.
You're wonderful, Sue. Thank you.
Oh, well, I wasn't fishing for compliments. But on a personal note, I would like to thank Miss Amanda Zeiber and my boss, Kim Schaefer, because they permitted me to work on a social media capstone project for my graduate degree, and I finished. And graduated June 14th from Portland State University. But it was very kind of them, and I think it benefited the city as well, I hope. And so I'll shut up now, because obviously Amanda wasn't expecting that, and I'm embarrassing her. But I wanted to say a public thank you, because they were very, very pivotal in my being able to finish.
Well,
So-
congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
That's great. Super. Anything else to come before the commission? This is commission.
Can I ask one quick question
Yes.
before we adjourn? As I'm sitting here, just need to go back to some earlier conversations, preparing all these impacts of the decisions that was made tonight. I clarified about the closing out the contracts, the donations, the bond. What I didn't clarify was the $1 million from the county, and since the motion was to cancel the project, I'm assuming you want us to contact the county and make the arrangements to return that money?
I think you have to.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's appropriate.
And if you would find out how we go about, I mean, we're going to discuss a future project. What are the channels?
Okay, then I think
Applying for it again.
we would reapply.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Move that we adjourn.
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good night.